you got cat drip the whole nine.
Hey man, send the rest of them people they do up here, dog. Damn, bro.
The money do backflips, the whole vibe. It's more than just rap shit, it's that grind. Started with an itty bitty chip on my motherfucking shoulder. I ain't lying, had the nigga straight tweaking. I was tryna bust out clean from a motherfucking runaway scene. Niggas thought a nigga geeking. More than please, no drama. Long as we keep it on camera, just all a nigga seeking. All of me on my motherfucking on me.
Nihilism. It's like when, you know, things don't matter at the end of the day. I feel like the older you get, the more you understand this kind of concept, where it's like a whole bunch of stuff that used to matter when you were a teenager don't even matter. You know what I'm saying? You see the irrelevance of you know what I'm saying, attaching yourself to just like things that, you know, were supposed to matter. I don't know, for some reason it's just the realization that, you know, that you go through, bro. You know, and another significant realization that I came across, bro, is the fact that, you know what, a whole lot of people have been talking about, you know, the idea of life being too short, or, you know, whatever, bro, like dying young, you know, somebody passing away young, or no, gone too soon, or, you know what I'm saying. I'm sorry to you know, get into maybe a subject matter that may be kind of a little too heavy, a little too sensitive for some people right now. But I don't know, bro. It's like, it's something for me, you know, I get to a point where if people could only see certain things, you know, in different ways than how they currently are seeing them. You feel me? Like, for example, in your mind, you may be believing certain things, you know, that may induce fear in you, but then maybe shift your perspective on those things a little bit, and then the fear completely just like moves away. You know what I'm saying? Or for the most part, doesn't dictate your just, you know, your experience of said thing that, you know, you have so much fear about. You know, and so for me, it's the duration of life. Literally, it's the duration of life, bro. You know, I actually think life is perfectly how it's supposed to go, like in terms of the length of life. Now I want you to understand, you may be somebody that, you know, gets born, of which, like, obviously you're watching this video, you're somebody who exists, you're born, you're here. We're here now. We're gonna, you know, we keeping it pushing, we keep it going until the wheels fall off, right? But then again, you may be somebody that lives till like 80 years. You know what I'm saying? 80 years old, 90. You may live to 39. You may live to 18. You may live to 9. You understand what I'm saying? You see where I'm going with this? You may live to 9 minutes old, like, and for me, like, at that point, yes. And again, like, I am aware of how sensitive this topic may be, because other people may not be conceptualizing it or seeing it the way I'm seeing it, or the way I'm about to put it down. But it's like, you got to be sensitive of the fact that, yo, with somebody who, you know, dies at birth, you know what I'm saying, seed that like dies at birth, you know, it's like, for you who maybe gave birth to that seed, you know, she was like, oh no, right, it's terrible, it's tragic, but try put yourself in that infant's shoes. I don't even want to put it that way, because saying in their shoes, they didn't even get the chance to wear any shoes. You know what I'm saying? They died at birth. But what I'm trying to get at is that they never existed for long enough to understand the concept of, you know, not being given the opportunity to live, or not being given the opportunity to life. You understand what I'm saying? To them, like, they literally did not experience enough life for them to experience that it was evil. For that's if you know, that's if you see that. Only you, the person who maybe is seeing this, or the person who is not that infant. You may see somebody maybe who aborts, you know, a seed, like before developing into human, but does that whole thing. And then you may be like, yeah, it's evil, it's this, that, it's the third. Or maybe somebody, and these is, yo, this is a hard topic to express because these are sensitive topics, you know. I'm sorry to, you know, share this detail, but you get, you know, parents that like delete their kids, you know what I'm saying? Like throw their kids away or whatever, like, you know what I mean? And yes, that kid's opportunity to life was taken away. But when we're talking about the hurt and the pain, you know what I'm saying, the unfairness, the evil, the, you know, this and that and the third that just happened there, it's like, okay, that kid, bro, to that little infant, they were probably at a state of being where they're so pure, right? They're so pure, like they're not tainted by the understanding of this world, understanding this world, having their own identity in this world, blah blah blah. They may have had an identity through their own folks, but I'm talking about as, you know, per their own experience of this existence, right? That little infant, they didn't have that, so they passed on pure, right? They died pure. And so, you know, whatever they get to experience beyond that is nothing but purity in it, because it's not tainted by the last final moments of, you know, you having been, you know, the person that you are at this point, and you maybe dying like how you are right now. Maybe you're not happy with who you are because you've lived this whole life, and like life happened, right? Life done lifed, and then, you know, you're probably not happy with it and didn't really get the time to change all that, and then you die on the spot. Like, obviously, you know, somebody may look at that and be like, yo, you maybe the place you're going to beyond that may not be such a pleasant place because of, you know, your final moments here. Now think of an infant that didn't go through any of that, you know. So in the, you know, having said that, it's like, to them it was enough for them to experience that little 2 weeks of life, 2 years, right? Even like people that you are close to and feel like they were gone too soon, young, at 18, at 23, you feel what I mean? And with some of these scenarios, bro, you can only calculate the you know, what happened, like the circumstance of why life was taken at that point. And then it's like, you can kind of gauge when somebody was treading sort of a line where it's no way they didn't see the end coming. You know what I'm saying? It's no way, bro. Look at what Neighbors is involved in. Look at their lifestyles. There's no way you don't see the consequence, though. You know what I mean? You can act and live ignorant or naive all you want, bro. But it depends on the age too. That's why I'm like, yo, it's a certain age where it's like, you know what you're getting yourself involved in. And then some of these deaths, they are self-inflicted, they're curated by just like your decisions as a human. You understand what I mean? But I am talking that, and also more you know, natural cause of death, you know what I'm saying? At whatever age. It's like, you know, with human beings, bro, it's all in how you make you make these things mean in your own mind. You understand what I mean? How you make the duration of somebody's lifespan, how you make just the law of lifespan, the theory of just lifespan. It's in how you make it mean that could either leave you paranoid or just at peace with things. You understand what I'm saying? And so therefore, to make peace with maybe the duration of your own lifespan, it's like, you know, number one, what maybe your life means to you. You know, maybe how your life unfolds. You know what I mean? And how that translates to you is like, yo, I'm at a position where there's a whole bunch of things that still need to be rectified. Maybe a whole lot of regrets. Maybe a whole lot of this, that, and the third. And you know, you feel like you need time to rectify all that. And if death catches you before you've rectified all that, it's like, no, it shouldn't have happened. It shouldn't have this. But then at that point, at the point where you like it shouldn't have happened, is you saying, yo, nature is wrong, right? At which point is nature ever wrong, though? I'm talking nature, dog. You feel me? So my point is that, yo, death happens at any point. Now, how do we make maybe somebody dying at a younger age mean that it wasn't supposed to happen? Like, how? Like, you're the one that's making the heaviness of that experience just unbearable, or you know what I'm saying? You're making it like super painful more than it has to be. You feel what I'm saying? And so therefore, bro, like, it just had to happen at that age, right? It just had to happen at that age, and nothing happens too soon, nothing happens too late. I feel like that's the moral of story here. Nothing happens too soon, nothing happens too late, including death itself, right? Birth itself too, but including, you know, the dreaded old death. You understand what I'm saying?